The attic was a place I had rarely ventured into, hidden behind the cobweb-covered door at the end of the narrow hallway. It was a repository of forgotten treasures and discarded relics, a silent witness to the passage of time. That gloomy afternoon, curiosity led me to brave the dust and darkness and pull the door open. As I climbed the creaking stairs to the attic, the air grew heavy with a musty scent that clung to my clothes like a shroud. Boxes stacked high, draped in white sheets, loomed in the dim light filtering through the small, grimy windows. A shiver ran down my spine, but I forged ahead, drawn by the mystery of what lay hidden in this forgotten realm of the house. I noticed it immediately. A dusty, leather-bound album perched on a rickety old table in the far corner. It seemed out of place among the boxes of forgotten toys and discarded clothes. My heart raced with anticipation as I reached for it. The album felt cool and ancient in my hands, the leather worn and cracked with age. I opened the album, and my breath caught in my throat. The pages were filled with photographs, sepia-toned and faded, of people I had never seen before. My family's name was etched on the cover, and I knew it was our album, but the people in the pictures were strangers. In one photo, a couple stood in front of a grand old house, their faces blurred and indistinct. In another, a group of children played in a sunlit garden, their laughter frozen in time. The more I turned the pages, the more my heart raced. I saw weddings, birthdays, and family gatherings that I had no recollection of. People smiled, hugged, and held hands, but none of them were familiar to me. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the photos, each one revealing a memory I had never had, with people I'd never met. Panic welled up inside me, and I slammed the album shut, the sound echoing in the empty attic. Sweat coated my brow, and I felt a creeping sense of dread that I couldn't shake. How could this be? How could my family album hold memories that were not mine, with people who were not a part of my life? I needed answers, and I knew that the key to unraveling this terrifying mystery lay hidden within the pages of that haunting album. That night, I couldn't sleep. The enigmatic album haunted my thoughts, its eerie contents etched into my mind. I had to understand what was happening. With trepidation, I crept back into the attic, clutching a flashlight and the album tightly in my hands. The air felt even colder, as if the attic itself recoiled at my return. As I turned on the flashlight and flipped through the pages, the photographs took on an even more sinister quality. The people in them seemed to beckon to me, their faces contorted with expressions of longing, anger, and despair. It was as if they were trapped in the album, imprisoned within its leather-bound confines. I focused on one particular photograph, a family portrait in front of a decrepit mansion that bore a striking resemblance to our own house. The family's faces were twisted, their eyes pleading for release. My heart pounded, and I realized I had to find out who these people were, how they were connected to me, and why their memories were intruding into my life. With trembling hands, I ventured deeper into the attic, searching for any clues that might shed light on the mystery. I unearthed an old, dusty trunk hidden beneath a pile of tattered blankets. It creaked open reluctantly, revealing a trove of letters, journals, and newspaper clippings. The journals were written by someone named Eleanor, and they chronicled the life of a woman who had lived in our house many years ago. Her words were filled with anguish and despair, describing her family's descent into madness and the strange occurrences that plagued them. She wrote of the album, its pages filled with memories that weren't theirs, and how it had driven her family to the brink of insanity. The newspaper clippings were equally chilling. They told of a fire that had consumed the mansion in the old photograph, claiming the lives of a family that shared our name. The headline spoke of a curse that had plagued the family for generations, a curse that had found its way into our lives. My hands trembled as I clutched the journals and clippings, realization dawning upon me. The people in the photographs were the family from the past, their memories and suffering now intertwined with mine. The curse had found its new victims, and I was trapped in its malevolent web. I had to break this curse, to free myself and the tormented souls trapped within that cursed album, but to do so, I needed to confront the dark secrets hidden within the mansion, secrets that had lain dormant for far too long. The thought of what lay ahead filled me with dread, but I knew I had no choice. I had to uncover the truth, no matter how terrifying it might be. The days that followed were a blur of research and restless nights. I delved deeper into Eleanor's journals, piecing together the tragic history of the cursed family that had lived in our house. It was a tale of dark rituals, forbidden pacts, and a relentless malevolence that had haunted them for generations. Eleanor's words hinted at a way to break the curse, but it was fraught with peril. According to the journals, the source of the curse lay hidden beneath the mansion. An ancient chamber, sealed off and forgotten, held the key to ending the torment that had plagued her family. The ritual to break the curse required gathering relics and incantations, all of which had been scattered across time. Each night, I studied the journals and the haunting photographs. I could feel the presence of the tormented souls growing stronger, their whispers of despair echoing in my mind. It was as if they were urging me to finish what Eleanor had started, to confront the malevolent force that bound us together. Finally, I gathered the courage to descend into the hidden depths of our house. Armed with the knowledge from Eleanor's journals, I searched for the entrance to the chamber. It was concealed behind a false wall in the basement, hidden behind layers of dusty bricks and cobwebs. As I stepped into the dark chamber, the air grew heavy with an oppressive energy, and I felt the weight of centuries bearing down on me. In the dim light of my flashlight, I discovered the relics, a tarnished amulet, a blood-stained dagger, and a weathered tome filled with cryptic incantations. I followed the instructions meticulously, performing the ritual as Eleanor had described in her journals. The words resonated with ancient power, and I could feel the malevolence in the house intensify. Then it happened. The very walls seemed to groan, and the curse's grip on my mind tightened. The tormented souls manifested before me, their anguished faces contorted in agony. They begged me to stop, to spare them from the curse's wrath, but I couldn't turn back now. With a final incantation, the ancient chamber trembled, and a blinding light enveloped me. The curse fought back, a tempest of darkness and despair, but I held fast to my resolve. As the light subsided, I knew that I had succeeded. The curse had been broken. The attic was silent. The malevolence lifted. The haunting album lay before me, now filled with blank pages, its power drained. The tormented souls had found their peace, and I was free from their torment. But as I closed the album for the last time, a sense of sadness washed over me. I had uncovered the dark secrets of my family's past, and in doing so, I had become a part of that tragic history. The memories of those I had never met would haunt me forever, a reminder of the price I had paid to break the curse that bound us together.